the New Jersey diner that's open 24/7, but locals won't eat there after dark. New Jersey is famous for its diners, hundreds of them. Bright, chrome-plated, neon-lit restaurants that serve pancakes at midnight and coffee strong enough to wake the dead. They are places of comfort, safety, the smell of bacon on a flat-top grill, and the sound of a waitress calling you Han. But there is one diner off a quiet exit on the Garden State Parkway that locals treat differently. Its sign glows 24 hours a day. Its doors are never locked. The lights are always on. The jukebox plays old Sinatra tunes. The coffee is always hot. And almost no one from the surrounding towns will set foot inside after the sun goes down. If you ask why, they will give you different answers. Some will say the food tastes different at night. Some will say the staff is not what they seem. Some will tell you about a booth in the back corner where a woman in a blue dress sits facing the wall. She never moves. She never speaks. She never orders. And if you try to talk to her, something terrible happens. This is the story of the Bluebird Diner. A story that blurs the line between a restaurant and a ghost story. A story about why some places are open all night not to serve the living, but to accommodate something else entirely. Let's start with the history. The Bluebird Diner was built in 1957, a classic, prefabricated stainless steel building shipped from a factory in New Jersey and assembled on a strip of highway that was, at the time, busy with travelers heading to the shore. It had checkered floors, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools. It was the kind of place where a family could stop for burgers and milkshakes on their way to the beach. For decades, it thrived, but when the interstate bypassed the old highway in the late 1970s, the traffic died. Most businesses along that stretch closed. The Bluebird should have closed too. But it didn't. The current owner is a man named Anthony. He inherited the diner from his father, who inherited it from his father. The family has owned it since the beginning. Anthony is in his 60s now. He works the night shift alone. He is polite but guarded. If you ask him why the diner stays open all night when there are almost never any customers, he will give you a cryptic answer. "We have regulars," he will say. "They come late. They don't like to be disturbed." Regulars, people who eat at a diner at 3 in the morning in a building that has no other cars in the parking lot. People who never seem to arrive or leave. People who sit in the corner and stare at the wall. The first documented strange occurrence at the Bluebird dates back to 1983. A truck driver named Mike pulled off the highway late one night. He was tired. He was hungry. He saw the neon sign glowing in the darkness and decided to stop. When he walked in, the diner was empty, except for one customer, a woman in a blue dress sitting in the back booth. She had long, dark hair. She was facing the wall. Mike thought it was odd, but he was too tired to care. He sat at the counter and waited for service. Anthony, who was much younger then, came out of the kitchen and took his order. Mike asked about the woman in the booth. Anthony's expression did not change. He simply said, "Don't talk to her. She's waiting for someone." Mike ate his meal. He drank his coffee. He tried not to look at the woman. But he couldn't help it. She never moved. She never made a sound. She just sat there, facing the wall, as still as a statue. Before he left, Mike made a decision he would regret for the rest of his life. He walked over to her booth. He wanted to ask if she was okay. He wanted to see her face. He touched her shoulder. The moment his fingers made contact, he felt a cold so intense that his hand went numb. The woman did not turn around, but the lights in the diner flickered. The jukebox stopped playing. And Mike felt something enter his chest. A presence. A consciousness. Something that was not him. He stumbled backward. He ran to his truck. He drove for miles before he felt like himself again, and then he pulled over and vomited on the side of the road. The next morning, he woke up with a bruise on his shoulder, the exact shape of a handprint. A woman's handprint. He never drove that stretch of highway again. Other witnesses have reported similar experiences. A waitress who worked at the diner for 2 weeks in the 1990s said the woman in the blue dress appeared every night at exactly 2:15 a.m. She never entered through the door. She was just suddenly there, in the booth, as if she had materialized out of the air. The waitress tried to take her order once. She walked up to the booth and said, "What can I get for you tonight?" The woman did not respond. The waitress leaned in closer. She still could not see her face, just the back of her head, but she could hear something. A whisper, so faint it was almost not there. The whisper said, "He's not coming back, is he?" The waitress quit that night. The story, pieced together from local records and old newspapers, is this. In 1962, a young woman named Eleanor was waiting for her fiancé at the Bluebird Diner. He was a traveling salesman. He had promised to meet her there on a specific night at a specific time. She wore her best blue dress. She sat in the back booth and faced the door, waiting to see him walk in. He never arrived. Eleanor waited for hours. The staff felt sorry for her. They gave her free coffee. They told her he was probably just delayed. But deep down, they knew something was wrong. The next morning, news came that a car matching her fiancé's description had been found at the bottom of a ravine, 10 miles away. He had been driving too fast on the winding roads. He had lost control. He was dead before she even sat down in that booth. Eleanor never recovered. She returned to the diner every night for weeks. She sat in the same booth. She faced the wall, unable to bear the sight of the door opening and it not being him. She stopped eating. She stopped speaking. One night, she simply closed her eyes and never opened them again. She died in that booth. And according to the legend, she never left. Anthony, the owner, does not deny the ghost stories. He does not confirm them either. He simply tends his grill and pours his coffee and keeps the diner open all night, every night, like his father did before him and his grandfather before that. When asked directly if the diner is haunted, he once gave a rare, honest answer. "This place is a refuge," he said, "for the living and the dead. Who am I to turn anyone away?" A refuge. A place where lost souls can come and sit in the warmth and the light and wait for something that will never arrive. A place where the coffee is always hot and the door is always open and the woman in the blue dress is always in her booth, facing the wall, hoping. If you ever find yourself driving down a quiet New Jersey highway late at night and you see a neon sign glowing in the distance and you pull into the empty parking lot of the Bluebird Diner, go inside. Order the pancakes. They are supposed to be excellent. But do not sit in the back booth. Do not approach the woman in the blue dress. Do not try to see her face. Because some grief is too heavy to move on. Some love refuses to die. And some diners stay open all night, not for the customers who walk in, but for the ones who never walk out. She is still waiting. And she will be waiting when you leave. Sleep well.